Thank you all for coming. Sorry, we're running a bit late, a few technical issues to iron out with the AV stuff, but we're all ready to go. As always, we've got an absolutely packed agenda. Cracking on. None of you paid for this event. If you did, you've been scammed by somebody, but it's certainly not us. All our events are always free, and they're free because obviously we have some kind support from our sponsors, who you'll have seen in the coffee and food area across the hallway. So make sure you do chat with those guys. It's thanks to those guys that we continue to run these events for the past 17 years, I think, now. So yes, thanks to those guys for supporting us and their continued support. As always, we're a volunteer-led organisation. We don't get paid for any of this. And any of the steering groups are here. So you've got Chris here, Lee, Jim's not here today, and obviously myself without a Santa beard. So if you've got any suggestions, if you want to present a next one, feel free to grab one of us during the day. If there's something that's not working or some feedback, again, please grab one of us. We're all in these snazzy blue shirts. We are on some socials. We actually are still on X. If anyone still use X/Twitter? No, it kind of died, really, isn't it? We do still have an account. We're on Blue Sky as well, and obviously we're on LinkedIn. So do feel free to follow us there and engage where necessary. It's a user group, right? You're the users. So all of our content comes from the community. So if you've got a case study session that you want to present, I'm doing one later this morning. On what you're doing at work. They're always really interesting. What worked, what didn't work, lessons learned, that kind of stuff. So please do submit your session for one of our later meetings in the year. All the sessions today will be recorded, so you didn't have to scribble notes. And then we do have a YouTube channel, so we do upload them to YouTube, usually within a few weeks after the event. So previous events, content is there. There's a whole wealth of videos and useful information which you can get for free. We love free stuff. 3 more meetings this year. So our summer meeting will be in Leeds in June. That's on July the 1st. Thanks for adding the dates. Even though it says June, I'm pretty sure it's July the 1st. Chris, who did the slides? July the 1st, right? Not June. Yeah. So ignore June. Yeah. Just to check you're awake, right? So July the 1st, Leeds. October we'll have a social event somewhere in London, and then our 3rd and final meeting of the year will be in London. So look forward to seeing you there. You've all got the agenda. If you've got the event app, the agenda's in there as well. We've got a packed day of content, as you can see. We've got a second breakout room this afternoon, which is the end of the sponsors hall on the left. That's where the breakout room is. And obviously we've got sessions all the way through the day in here. And then coffee and lunch will be over in the sponsors area. If you don't have the event app for feedback, please scan one of these. Session feedback is really important for us and also the presenters as well. So we know that, is the content right? Is it the right level of technical depth for you, et cetera, et cetera? Are we awful at presenting, et cetera? So scan the QR codes if you need that. The events team have also got these as well. I think there's some kind of gamification as well. So if you do scan QR codes and QR codes of the sponsors, there is a bottle of champagne for those who've submitted the most session feedback in the app and have spoken to the most vendors. So get your game on with that. Oh, fancy animation. There we go. Didn't even know it was going to happen. We haven't got a video. There is some networking at a nearby pub. We're not going to tell you where that is until later, because otherwise you'll all piss off this morning and come back for the drinks. So we will let you know that at the round table this afternoon around 4 o'clock. But we do have a card behind the bar for some post-event drinks, so you're all welcome to attend that. Right, we're going to juggle the news a little bit because 2 of the vendors are running late. They're stuck on trains and traffic. So we're going to do Omnissa first, I think, and then the other guys will do after the first session. So switching things around a little bit. So do we have Omnissa here? Hey, you right? So welcome to Omnissa.
Yeah.
Give him a round of applause, guys. Come on.
So my slides.
So Chris is driving the slides. So I'm at the back. We'll switch to your slides, hopefully.
Seamless.
Yeah. Technical professionals.
So whilst that's being loaded, for anyone that hasn't been before, we have this 10-minute slot now where we're able to talk about kind of whatever, I'd say in the loosest sense of the term, whatever we want. So from my side, it's really kind of what's happened since the last event from an Omnissa point of view. So with that in mind, it'll be sort of a couple of product announcements, a couple of enhancements and things like that. For those that I haven't met or don't know me, my name's Matt Evans. I've been with Omnissa and obviously VMware before that for nearly 10 years. In terms of the sort of accounts I work with, I'm on the pre-sale side of things, so I tend to focus on FS&I, so financial services and insurance, as well as MOD and some of the government accounts. So with my 10 minutes, I was going to touch a little bit on what we've announced around Secure Access Suite, additional recent enhancement around DEX, what we're doing with our Horizon platform, which is our VDI platform, some additions to UEM, so that's around sort of server management. So first off, for anyone who was at the last event in London, when Google were here, they talked about managing the Chrome browser, so the enterprise browser. This is something that we partner with Google and can sell, as other vendors do. And I suppose with that in mind, the question that probably jumps to your mind is, why would you buy that or that Chrome enterprise browser management from us rather than directly from Google? And the difference really is that the browser management piece is identical, being very open and honest with you, but what we do is we wrap some of our other technology around it. So what we have from a Workspace ONE point of view is a self-service app catalog. So if you think about a use case, say bring your own, what we'd be able to do is give those users a self-service app catalog. They would authenticate. We can federate with whatever Okta, Entra, AD, whatever it be, so they can authenticate and then get access on a bring your own device or even a managed device to all the corporate owned kind of websites, SaaS apps, those sort of things. The other piece that then comes along with that is we also have a per app VPN. So what you'd then be able to do is, again, provide those users secure access with a per app VPN to things within the data center. So it's not just about the browser management. Again, it's about that self-service app catalog and then the VPN as well. So that's what sort of differentiation is there. We also recently announced vulnerability defense. So this is a partnership with CrowdStrike. So essentially what that would mean is that the CVEs and KVEs from CrowdStrike feed into the Workspace ONE intelligence engine. We're able then to see those vulnerabilities and action them. So it'll give you better insights as to not just what's out there, but what's being fixed, what's being resolved, and create those workflows, those automations to remediate those threats. From a Horizon point of view, for anyone who's obviously known of the Horizon product and VMware before Omnissa in this space, obviously being a part of VMware at that time, the focus was very much on vSphere. We did towards, I guess, sort of the probably later half of, it was probably sort of 2015, 16-ish maybe it was, we introduced support for Horizon on native Azure. But other than that, VMware kind of, I guess, were quite restrictive as to what we did. So obviously, 2 years ago, we separated from Broadcom on VMware and became Omnissa. And with that, we then started working on support for other hypervisors and other points of integration. So we recently announced support for Nutanix. So that's both on-prem and cloud. We also can support native Amazon Workspace's core, Azure, obviously the Azure VMware solution, still support vSphere. We still have a relationship with VMware, so that's not gone away. But you can see that we're starting to build out support for a broader range. So at the moment, some of that is what we call manual pools. So that's not full integration. It's support for delivery of VDI on those platforms, but not the level of integration we today have with, say, Azure, Nutanix, and VMware. So that will come, but this is kind of where we are on that journey. So you can see, obviously, the approach is sort of beyond where we were before. We have a strong DEX platform as well, which goes across physical and virtual. From the virtual side, I just wanted to mention this because this is probably a little bit newer than kind of what we previously had. Video should be starting. I don't know if I. The buttons aren't doing anything now. Back or forth. Thank you. So a little while ago we added this operations dashboard. So this gives you a high-level view of Horizon, the connection servers, the unified access gateways, so the SSL gateways, kind of what performance is like, status of the VDI pools, who's accessing them, and so forth. One thing we were kind of missing is that what it looked like from a user point of view if somebody was connecting in remotely. So we could see what they were coming in from in terms of the client. But what we've added here now is that sort of last mile telemetry around network conditions as well. So if somebody's connecting in, we're getting visibility of their WAN connection, so what their Wi-Fi is like at home. So if they're saying, I've got terrible performance, we're able to see in here kind of what's driving that, whether it be Wi-Fi or whether it be something else. What you're then seeing here is an automation. So in this case, I think they just set it up to send a message via Slack because we have these integrations with third parties. But essentially what we're doing here is we're looking at that score, like that WAN score, so how that's performing, and then essentially creating an action off the back of that. In the interest of time, I will skip on from that because it just sends a message. From a Workspace ONE point of view, so this is our unified endpoint management platform. We've had support for Windows desktops for a long time. What we've recently added is server support. For anyone that's familiar with managing, modern Windows desktops, we, like many other vendors, have a reliance, and we use the OMA-DM, which is Microsoft MDM channel, for some of our actions. So that would be for things like autopilot enrollment, out-of-the-box enrollment, those sort of things. So what we've done is redeveloped our agent so that we don't have that requirement for server. We appreciate that a lot of servers could be air-gapped, a lot of servers aren't, you're not going to out-of-box enroll servers into a platform like you would with autopilot, like you would for Windows desktops. So we've basically kind of replicated the same levels of functionality, but for server, so we don't have that sort of cloud connectivity reliance for that MDM channel. From a server point of view, the server gets enrolled, and then you can start to take control of it in terms of patch management, lifecycle, applying security baselines, so you're locking down the server, sensors, so you can retrieve data from it, and obviously the ability to sort of push down applications, ADMX files for configuration. Another piece that we've added to UEM is we've always had an enterprise app repository. But we've recently completely rewritten and developed it. It was quite limited in the number of applications, but as you can see now, we have nearly 10,000 applications in there. So that essentially will allow you to kind of deliver those applications to Windows desktops without having to necessarily package them themselves. So you're not having to take an MSI and then write transform files and all these sort of things. You can just pull it from the app catalog. There'll also be options then to kind of maintain and keep those green fields, so those applications will continue to be updated as and when new applications are published to the App Store or the app repository. With some of our large deployments of Windows Desktop, we've started to see some challenges around large-scale deployments. So if you're pushing out or you want to push out an update, I think the most recent update to Edge was something like a gig. So if you want to push that out to 20, 30, 40, 50,000 desktops, obviously that's a lot of network bandwidth. So what we've introduced is this phased deployments mechanism. So you can start to control as and when they're going out and do it almost in rings rather than one big lump sum. We've also introduced time windows for that, so you can control when those updates occurred, maybe a bit more critical for server management. In terms of a couple of other things, Omnissa One, which is our customer event, has been going on for the last couple of years. The next one, I guess, in EMEA is in start of November in Amsterdam. And in May, we have a webinar that covers autonomous workflows, so very much around using workflows to not just onboard devices, but continue to manage the life cycle of those. And then finally, this afternoon at 3:25, I think it is, I'm doing a session on DEX with Macaulay. Whilst work for Omnissa, it's very much going to be focused on generically on DEX and the impact on the environment and a few sort of lessons learned and so forth. So hopefully see some of you there. And that's me done. Thanks for your time.
Right, up next, we have Citrix. So Nihaus from Citrix is going to talk to us about what's new in the world of Citrix, hopefully with some slides.
Yes. I can talk on my own as well, that's fine. But I would love to have my slides presented here so that you can see, you don't get bored looking just at me. If I can get the slides. Yes, see? Hi everyone, I'm Neha. I'm part of Citrix product management team, leading Citrix Adrian as a product, and I'm here to talk about what cool stuff do we have for you to learn more about. We released 2.5.11 in December, and we announced there are 5 key headlines that you need to take a note of. And one of the core focus that you should understand that we are focused on user experience, diagnostics, hybrid options, and cost controls. So what are those 5 features you should keep in mind about that release? If you've not really tried it yet, you should absolutely try it out and let us know the feedback. I'll share the QR code wherein you can reach out to me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. So these are the 5 things that we have done. We have introduced better encoding efficiency and super resolution. At the end of the day, giving your users better experience with less load on the CPU. That's the user experience focus we wanted to ensure we bring out. The second is a seamless apps transition or be able to provide you dynamic preview so that it feels like native apps. When the users are not able to preview across the apps, it doesn't give that great experience when you're trying to provide your users and employees a cohesive experience. The third is always-on tracing, the much-awaited functionality wherein you do not have to enable the tracing manually, and the tracing in the logs for diagnostic is available. Linking this to our core focus that we want to ensure the diagnostic is easier for you and more automated than manual. The third is the Citrix Director in-console HDX screen sharing. Now in this, you don't have to depend on other tools, but you can, whenever you want to troubleshoot any of the sessions, you can troubleshoot within the Director itself rather than relying on any other third-party solution. And the fourth is the hybrid plus cost optimization by providing you more options with Azure local support and AWS Workspace core support, so that when you are provisioning and when you are deciding the right measures that you need to scale better and optimize the cost, you will be able to do that. So these are the 5 things you need to take a note for 2.5.11 release. And why it matters? Less provisioning pressure, faster troubleshooting, platform choices, and measurable auto-scale. So please try out these functionalities and let us know your feedback. What you like and what you don't like. Be vocal, be honest. If some of the functionalities don't really work for you, we are happy to take these as feedback and RFEs and improve those further. But we have got really good feedback from customers. We had Microsoft Ignite in November. We announced 3 key things. 1, our first AI platform of Citrix to help provide a unified AI troubleshooting solution for all Citrix product pillars. And I'll talk more about it. We'll go deeper a bit on the architecture, what it really does in a demo. The second was the Microsoft Entra ID SSO support so that the customers, your users are able to get a cohesive experience and don't have to do multiple logins. The third is the Microsoft Teams optimization support with Slim Core support and integration to be able to give you a better Mac OS experience as we already had Windows support. So these are the 3 key announcements we did in Microsoft Ignite. Now let's go a bit deeper on Adrian. So we just announced Adrian, which is the AI platform helping you troubleshoot day-to-day operation management, as well as to learn about new capabilities. We are acquiring a lot of products. device trust, unicorn, when you want to learn about them, you will be able to go to this one solution which is inbuilt in your product. When you go to DaaS, when you go to the Netscaler console service on Citrix Cloud, you will be able to see Adrian, and you'll be able to click on it and ask questions as to what is unicorn, what is device trust, how do I optimize this user session, why are my machines unregistered, understand more details, because you will be able to talk back. Your product will not be really sitting passively, but be able to talk back and understand, help you understand what's really going on. Now, one of the core things to take a note, there are 3 key data sources what Adrian builds on. One, Citrix SME content. We are not searching the web. We are relying on the Citrix SME content because we're focusing on improving the accuracy of that content too. Second, we have anonymized support case data. That means that whatever the learnings and new issues are coming in, we are referring to that and learning from that and providing you feedback if anything new came up which you need to learn more while troubleshooting. Third is deployment context. When you write a prompt that why Adam's session is slow, we will fetch the information of that one session of, let's say you gave the duration as today, and provide you analysis that was it the network latency or was it the VDA CPU which caused that issue. So these are the 3 sources that we refer to enable Citrix Adrian. Now, Citrix Adrian, one of the core things to take a note is, this is to enable across all product pillars of Citrix. DaaS, CVAD, Netscaler, Unicorn, SDS, security, Zen server. Right now we are focusing on Netscaler and DaaS. It is only available on Citrix Cloud. We have thousands of customers using it. We have customers reaching out, telling us how it is proactively helping them provide more meaningful responses across their team when they know Citrix is not the problem. Probably the network is, probably the infrastructure is. So it is helping a lot of customers. Please try it out and let us know the feedback on that. There are 3 key pillars of Adrian. Conversational. Make the product live so that you are able to talk to your product and be able to be able to understand what's really going on. Second, to make it actionable. We have just released the first action for Netscaler to trigger the upgrades of when you've done all the CV assessment, when you've done all the understanding of what's really happening across your deployment, you will be able to schedule upgrades. The third, this is the starting. Based on customer feedback, we are exposing more actions. And one of the core things to understand is everything is role-based access control. So let's say if an administrator does not have access to certain delivery groups, does not have access to certain Netscaler instances, he has only specific access controls, the prompts will only fetch information what he has access to, because the authorization is on the bearer token of the Citrix Cloud. And the last is the agentic AI, which is the vision, wherein we make it autonomous. When you come in, we assess your problems upfront, show it up, and then be able to present that these are the actions you need to take, and you just need to review and approve. So that's the goal. We are there to the action. We've released the first action, and we'll take it forward based on feedback. The 3 use cases that we are focusing are on troubleshooting, help you manage your day-to-day operations, and enable you to learn more functionality that we are releasing in our platform, Citrix Platform Solution. It is based on enterprise control, so it's very important to take a note. We have responsible AI to ensure all the controls are in. We provide role-based access, unified experience, extensible support, and multiple initiatives happen to ensure the source, the information, the accuracy focus remains. This is the overall Adrian architecture. In a nutshell, when you write a prompt, it goes through the agent. We re-prompt it using LLM. The agent is the brain, which maintains the sessions and everything. When the prompt comes back and when the retrieval happens from the tool, If you see it here, we have DAS MCP server, we have console service, the documentation, all these MCP servers. Based on your prompt and the question, we fetch the information, retrieves back, and when LLM responds back with the right kind of question, we reassess if it's closer to the question the user, the administrator had asked. If it's not, then we send it back and reevaluate. So that's how you see the response after all the evaluation is done. In a nutshell, there are a lot more deeper details, which is difficult to cover in a 10-minute session, but we can connect later to go more deeper. Now, if you can place this demo. So this is your standard director. Whenever a user comes in with slowness issues, you go and search the username. This is what you typically do. You search the username for Ian Smith. You'll go to the topology view to see where the problems are. And that is where you'll see Analyze with Citrix Adrian on the top right. When you click on it is when we pre-curate the prompt and put it up in Adrian for you, ask if you want last 2 days or 3 days, give you complete comprehensive analysis across that session, what's going on. You can go deeper or you can focus on the summary section. So you will see here that we give you very clear indication that there is an extreme high ICRTT, network latency, and VTA CPU is pegged at 100%. No reconnects occurred, but the session would have felt consistently slow. Now, if you want to remediation, you ask and it'll give you for VDA CPU saturation, these are the steps you need to take. And for reduced network latency, these are the things. Now, the remediation is given in context to what the issues we fetched from analyzing your session. So this is contextual troubleshooting that we have recently introduced, focusing on reducing the OpEx overhead on you and simplifying your operation management. That's all I had. If you want more details about the new updates, we have recently done a webinar in Feb. Please go through this QR on the left for the latest update. If you want more details about Adrian, please reach out to, please scan the right side QR and let me know the feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Right, we used to do a kind of an all around the grounds summary of like all the smaller vendors in the industry. We've now got them to do this work for us because it was a lot of effort. So we've got like a little compilation video from some of the Nerdios and some of the smaller vendors, which Chris is frantically finding on my laptop at the back to play for you now. Hopefully with sound.
From Enterprise Solutions. It's a pleasure to support the EUC community and lovely to see our partners here today, including Noggin VSI and Umescent. Enterprise Solutions are EUC specialists and started the company almost 28 years ago in Ireland and now also have a UK office. We aim to create secure, modern workspaces that simply work efficiently and securely. Enterprise Solutions are long-standing Citrix partners and we currently hold 3 partnerships which include Platinum, Preferred Services and CSP. We have a deep technical understanding of Citrix and we have also helped customers with economical license renewals in recent months. Drop by our stand to talk to the team about application delivery or anything Citrix.
Improved security posture, lower endpoint costs, consistent user experience, lowering complexity and eliminating endpoint sprawl are all benefits of the Tenzig solution stack. Tenzig offer a wide range of thin and zero client hardware with form factor options including standalone, laptop and all-in-ones, as well as many connectivity and operating system options. Tenzig Repurp OS is our secure Linux OS to transfer the exact same secure, high-performance Tenzig user experience to third-party PCs, laptops and thin clients. This enables a single vendor endpoint experience across native Tenzig hardware and third-party hardware. We look forward to seeing you today at EUC Forum, where you can arrange your free demo or take Repurp OS away to test today.
Hi EUC Forum, Rory Monahan from Numescent, and here's what's new with us. We've made automating the packaging of apps into cloud paging containers even easier with AI packaging support for MSIs. Together with Citrix, we announced integration with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktops, App Packages feature, and Cloud Pager, enabling Citrix customers to streamline provisioning of cloud paging containers as published applications. Also announced was MSX container optimization in Cloud Pager, which can improve the performance of MSX delivery and enable the use of features like our unique Cloud Pager policies for MSIX applications and more. Well, I have more I could share, but that's all the time we have to cover. So if you want to hear more from us, check out our booth.
Digital workspace management solutions for all leading platforms. One powerful solution for user and app management. Profile Unity with FlexApp. Stay ahead of IT issues and prevent disruptions with Stratosphere UX. Moving on from Microsoft App V, modernize app delivery with FlexApp. Moving to Windows 365 or Microsoft AVD, Profile Unity and FlexApp power modern desktop transformation.
I can say that without FlexApp, the IT department experience won't be as nice as it is.
Come visit Liquidware at our booth.
Access IT automation, empowering enterprise teams to move from legacy to the cloud with automation and confidence. Access Capture is our REST API framework and end-to-end application management platform. Discover, package, test, and publish applications, supporting all formats. Access Capture does the heavy lifting. Today, we are launching Capture Shift. Capture Shift, Module 5 of Access Capture. It fully automates your SCCM to Intune application migration at scale with complete RAG visibility, dependency mapping, migration jobs, and a full audit trail. What used to take months now takes weeks. Clarity, control, confidence from Access IT Automation.
Hopefully that's a bit more engaging than listening to me drone on with some PowerPoint. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Thank you to all our sponsors who help make these events possible.